time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
I had to play the other one. Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode. Man, I know it's late. I ain't gonna lie, man, it's just late. It is what it is. But I'm here to react to give y'all my reactions to week 3. Before I do that, I'd like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps the network, it helps my channel, CTC. By the way, by Refuse to Lose Network. We got other shows like The Main Show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, which was off today, but they'll be back tomorrow. Thursday Night Football, we got Past Jets, but we also got some Thursday college as well. App State, South Alabama, Sun Belt battle, so should be interesting there. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy, all your baseball content through Teddy. Tigers sweep the Royals, baby. Half a game back of a wild card spot. If the Twins lose to the Guardians tomorrow, we'll be tied with the Twins, who we tied the season series with. Be tied with them for that last wild card spot. And I believe we'll be 2 games behind the Royals for the second. So come on, Guardians, help your boys out. We got fantasy football with Coach Coombs, who went live earlier. All your fantasy news and updates through there. RBO Real Ballers Only featuring Vaughn, NBA content through there. Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. There. Kings Talk, all your Sacramento Kings news, updates, post-game, stuff like that through Joe Jordan. In the red corner, your boxing featuring Ty, Tomo, Ricky, boxing right there. And we have, last but certainly not least, we have Unfazed, which currently they're doing week by week NFL topics. They're doing a pick 'em as well between each other. They give you the update to let you know who's winning. Right now, AJ is currently winning. But yeah, those are all the shows on the network. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, you know I got to get started with some poll talk. I was a little rusty last week, so I didn't get started with it right away. But we back in full effect. So we got to get started with some poll talk. And there's a new number 1 in the country. Shout out to the Texas Longhorns. They are now number 1 in the country, and rightfully so. They have the better resume win, blew out Michigan on the road. Georgia narrowly escaped Kentucky, which we will talk about later, on the road. Might have lost, should have lost. We have Georgia at 2, so they didn't drop too far. Just went from 1 to 2, which like I said, I completely agree. That should definitely be how it goes. Ohio State at 3. They did have a bye week, so they didn't play anybody. Alabama is at 4 after obliterating Wisconsin. Prayers up to TVD. Tyler Van Dyke, he is out for the season with an ACL tear. 5 is Ole Miss. They just beat the mess out of Wake Forest. 6, Tennessee. Ranked matchup coming up with Tennessee and Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Opportunity for them to possibly leap Ole Miss, because Ole Miss, they play Georgia Southern. Not really a resume building win if they do win. So Tennessee could possibly leap Ole Miss. And they will have 2 ranked wins at the time, beating NC State, who was ranked at the time. And now if they beat Oklahoma on the road, mind you, that would be 2 resume building wins. 7 is Mizzou, leaped by Tennessee, which I agree. Yes, they escaped a BC team at home. But like I said, BC, to me, shouldn't have been ranked. They were ranked because they beat a Florida State team that's severely overranked, as we will talk about them later on in the show. So Tennessee has leaped them. Miami moves up from 10 to 8. Miami has been doing more than enough, so I agree. Yes, they beat FAMU and Ball State, but they didn't just beat them; they blew them out, and then they blew out Florida as well. So I'm not mad at that. Oregon at 9, I'm not mad there. They finally got it together, finally put together a blowout performance against Oregon State in the Civil War, which we will talk about later. But the other two games, Boise State was, albeit Boise State being a really good Mountain West team, was close. And Idaho, which is the one that's unexplainable, was close. So not mad of Miami jumping them. Tennis, Penn State, they moved down after not playing this week. Last win they have is that close win against Bowling Green. So not mad at them falling 2 spots. USC is 11th. Again, another bye week team, so they just stayed put. 12th is Utah. Stayed put. They were able to pull out a win against Utah State with Cam Rising being out. So I'm cool with, yes, it was kind of close. Not even kind of. It was close out the majority of the game. But I told y'all, Cam Rising plays, Utah's here. He don't play, Utah's here. So I'm not mad at them staying at 12th. Kansas State moves up from 14 to 13 after dominating Arizona. Oklahoma State moves down from 13 to 14 after their win against Tulsa, which was dominant. But Arizona beating Arizona 31-7, which we'll talk about later, beating Tulsa 45-10. I'm cool with K-State being above Oklahoma State. Oklahoma at 15 after beating Tulane, another game we will talk about later. LSU stays at 16 after beating South Carolina, narrowly escaping. If that, Nick, I'm worried. We'll talk about it. But that pick 6, if that's not called back, South Carolina wins that game. Notre Dame at 17. Again, I just don't get it, but whatever. Michigan at 18 after narrowly escaping Arkansas State. I guess. Louisville at 19. I don't think they played this week. So I feel like Louisville should be in front of both of them. But again, they didn't play this week. So there's a hard press to make that argument. Iowa State at 20. I feel like Iowa State could be above all 3 of them. That Iowa win is better than any win that Notre Dame, Michigan, or Louisville has. So, but Iowa State didn't play this week. So it's hard pressed to put them in front of somebody. Clemson at 21. I disagree there. Clemson should probably be at 25. They got blew out by Georgia. Yeah, they blew out App State, but App State's not. I like App State. A lot of people might have them to be a group of 5. I didn't choose App State to be a group of 5. I didn't even choose App State to win the Sun Belt. So I don't think Clemson should be 21st. That's just Clemson. They're living off their name there. Nebraska at 22. I think Nebraska should definitely jump Clemson. Northern Illinois at 23. I still disagree. I don't think Northern Illinois should be ranked. I'm sorry. Yes, they beat Notre Dame. That does not mean they should be ranked. They're going to take their L's. They'll eventually get unranked. I mean, it's cute for them. Shout out to them, but I don't think they should be ranked. 24th is Illinois. Now, I'm not mad at that one. Good win against Kansas. They dominated Central Michigan, did what they had to do, but that Kansas win was a good resume win. And Texas A&M being 25th, that's just because they started off the season ranked 23rd. No, I don't even think they started off 23rd. I forgot what they started off ranked. They started ranked 20th, excuse me. Started off ranked 20th, lost to Notre Dame. And so now they got a quote-unquote good one against Florida, who's not looking like that good of a team. So they're just trying to find a way to put Texas A&M back in the rankings because that's how the AP polls work. So here's who I think is snub. 1, Memphis, starting off 3-0. Again, Florida State is not that good of a team, but I think Memphis should be ranked over Texas A&M, should be ranked over NIU, and could possibly should be ranked over Clemson. Another snub, Syracuse. Syracuse is severely snubbed. They beat a really good Georgia Tech team. They look really good. I would say Georgia. I would think Syracuse is snubbed. I want to say UNLV, but I don't know, man. UNLV did beat a good Kansas team. UNLV did dismantle Houston, so I wouldn't be mad if UNLV is ranked, but I don't think that's a snub. Right here, they got Boise State as the 3rd team out. That loss, I know, tough loss against Oregon, but it's still a loss nonetheless. And Boise State's not a school that you would really rank in week 3 with a loss. So I don't agree there, but I think Memphis and Syracuse are for sure 2 snubs. I would replace Memphis and Syracuse. I would put Memphis and Syracuse and replace Northern Illinois, and I would replace Texas A&M. I like Illinois being ranked 3-0, good wins. I would definitely like that there. Then they got a tough matchup with Nebraska coming up Friday. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Well, in about 6-7 hours before I go to work. But yeah, that's all I got for the poll talk. Oh, I guess I got to talk about who dropped. Arizona dropped from 20th to out after getting blown out by K-State, which I will talk about. And Boston College dropped out from 24th to out after losing to Mizzou. But that's it. That's all I got for y'all for poll talk. Shout out again to Texas for being number 1 overall. Quinn Ewers get well soon. I don't know much about the Quinn Ewers injury yet in terms of timetable. But I think Texas is in good hands again with Arch Manning, especially because they play what? I think they play UL Monroe or something like that. Oh, I can look right now. They play UL Monroe this Saturday. So they'll be fine with Arch Manning. Even if Quinn Ewers is good enough to play, I wouldn't play him. Let Arch do his thing. They got Mississippi State after that. So that's fine as well. And then they got the river rivalry. Hopefully Quinn Ewers will be back by then. But right now they're fine. But shout out to them being number 1. And now we will get on to the Thursday game, the Thursday recap. Arizona State at Texas State. Now, I did pick Texas State at home. Texas State started off as dogs, and the public swayed it to Texas State being favorites. I was on Texas State from the jump, even as dogs. Felt like we were on the right side. They just melted in the fourth quarter, man. Let's talk about what happened to the game, and I get my thoughts. So Texas State starts with a punt. Arizona State starts with a 1-yard Cam Scatterboot touchdown run, set up by Jordan Tyson 21-yard catch. But then Texas State will rattle off 3 straight touchdowns. First being a 5-yard Chris Dawn Jr. touchdown catch set up by Cole Wilson 15-yard catch. Then they would score a 6-yard Jaden Williams touchdown catch set up by a 13-yard Jaden Williams catch. Then they would score a 19-yard Bo Sparks touchdown catch set up by a 20-yard Bo Sparks catch. But then Arizona State would answer back with a 52-yard Jordan Tyson touchdown catch set up by Jordan Tyson 24-yard catch. I believe that was on like 3rd and 22. He scored it for like 20-some yards. It was 3rd and super long. They converted, and then right after that, they scored. Arizona State would score a 7-yard Sam Levitt touchdown run set up by a 14-yard Xavier Guillory catch. And now it would lead to the score being tied at 21 apiece at half. And to start the second half, Arizona State would start with a 3-and-out punt. Texas State would start with a 3-and-out punt. The Arizona State would score Arizona State Sam Levitt would throw a pick, which would lead to a 4th and 8 turnover on downs for Texas State. Passes incomplete, which would lead to a 51-yard field goal miss for Arizona State, which would then lead to a 44-yard Jaden Williams touchdown catch for Texas State to go up 28-21. Then Arizona State would score a 2-yard Cam Scatterbo touchdown run set up by Sam Levitt, 40-yard run. What did I just hit? I don't know. With 9:04 left in the fourth quarter, Ishmael Mahdi, he would break through the line, look like he might not go for a score, but go for a run. Fumbles the ball. I think Shamar Showers forced that fumble. Arizona State would recover, and it would lead to a 22-yard field goal. And then Jordan McLeod would throw an interception, which would lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then Texas State would turn the ball over on downs 4th and 5, which would lead to Arizona State running the clock out 38. Cam Scatterboot picks up the first down. No more time left. And that would be your ball game. Like I said, man, Texas State just melted. They had 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter, plus a turnover on downs. A game that was super high-powered in the first half turned into a defensive struggle in the second half. Now, I think it was a little bit of sloppy football, but only 10 points scored in the second half. No, excuse me. Only 17 points, scored in the second half. 10 points from Arizona State, 7 from Texas State. Defenses did step up. They found something. Arizona State was able to pull off the win despite Cam Scatterbo not having the greatest game. I don't even think Cam Scatterbo averaged 4 yards a carry. I want to say he had like 20 carries for 60 yards in the game. Yes, he finished with 2 touchdowns, but those were short yardage touchdowns. Texas State did a really good job containing him until the end of the game. Again, they melted. End of the game, 38. This is where you want this Arizona State offense when they have to run the ball to kill the clock. Put the ball in Cam Scatterbo's hands. He's able to bounce outside and outrun everybody for the first down, which was uncharacteristic of this. He had 24 carries for 62 yards, by the way, which was uncharacteristic about this Texas State defense in this game. But Arizona State found a way to pull it out. Sam Levitt made plays when he had to make them. Was able to use his legs. Was able to find Jordan Tyson a bunch in this game. And shout out to them. Arizona State is now 3-0. I think they said they was 3-0 for the first time since 2019, 2020 or something like that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Kenny Dillingham. He's doing a great job with this program. Tough loss if you're Texas State and Coach Kenny, but I think they will rebound. But man, yeah, this is one of those games that if you're Texas State, you wish you had it back. Shout out my boy Joe in the comments saying was good with you. Shouted out Texas already for you, my boy. Shout out to y'all being number one in the country. We're gonna move on to Friday, which we had two really good games. The first one was UNLV, Kansas. By the way, I went over. I went over for the weekday. The weekday has been killing me. I went over. Oh, shout out my boy Ace. My boy Ace. He said Texas State was the right side. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. They melted. And then Joe says, I am number one. See, now is the time where you can play I'm number one. Now you know what you did. But again, all for entertainment, so I get it. But move on to UNLV at Kansas. I did pick Kansas to win in a close game. And Jalen Daniels does it again. He does it again with these late game interceptions, man. I even texted Ace. Speaking of Ace being in the chat, I said, because we gamble. I said, I'm taking UNLV and plus the points. I think Kansas wins, but I fear as much as I like Jalen Daniels, he might be a little overrated. And he threw interceptions late in the game that cost him the game. I'll talk about what happened in the game, and then I'll give my thoughts. But really disappointed in Jalen Daniels this year so far. I gotta go turn the page. But let's get into it. UNLV would start with a 3-0 punt. Kansas would start with an 11-yard Jalen Daniels touchdown run, set up by Lawrence Arnold 14-yard run, excuse me. UNLV would score a 38-yard field goal. Kansas would score a 33-yard Jalen Daniels touchdown run. And I thought this game, I was like, man, I picked the wrong side. Kansas is about to just run UNLV out the building, out of Jayhawk Stadium. They can't stop them. Kansas offense looked immaculate in the first two drives. UNLV had no answers. That was set up by Trevor Cardell, 18-yard catch. Then UNLV would score a 27-yard field goal. Kansas would score a 35-yard field goal. UNLV will miss a 51-yard field goal, which will lead to a Jalen Daniels interception, which will lead to a 27-yard Jaden Thomas touchdown catch right before the half. I'll talk about that. So Jalen Daniels throws the pick. Jalen Catalon catches it. They throw a pass. I want to say to Ricky White. I can't remember if it was Ricky White or Jacob DeJesus. Might not have been either one. But they throw a pass on the sideline. It's caught. Clock is only temporarily stopped in college. It's not completely stopped. So clock gets to running. They don't call a timeout. They scrambling. Clock is ticking. It's like 9 seconds left. Matt Saluka hikes the ball. And he finds Jaden Thomas on the wheel route. The defender, he's a little out of position, mistimes the jump. Jaden Thomas catches it and scores a touchdown as time expires. It went from ugly to real pretty real quickly. And that was the play before half. Kansas would start the second half with a 3-0 punt. UNLV would start with a punt. Kansas, Jalen Daniels throws another interception, which will lead to a 23-yard field goal. Then with 11:22 left in the fourth quarter, Kansas would score a 41-yard field goal. And then UNLV would answer with a 1-yard Kylan James, touchdown run set up by Matt Saluka, 21-yard run. And then Kansas on 4th and 16, Jalen Daniels is sacked, which will lead to the end of the game. Now, Matt Saluka was making plays with his legs. He was finding running lanes. He was running hard. He almost fumbled the game away. But then Kansas didn't fall on the ball, trying to pick it up, trying to scoop it and score it. About 5 to 7 different Jayhawks should have had that ball, and it just magically ends up in a UNLV lineman's hands. And he's able to make plays after that and score the game-winning touchdown. Well, he didn't score, but able to lead the game-winning touchdown drive. But Matt Saluka was making magic with his legs. So shout out to him. He had a pretty good game. But it's just Jalen Daniels, man. Those 2 interceptions were costly. He was able to do his thing in the beginning, running the ball. Even on that 33-yard touchdown run, I didn't think he was going to score. And then he just flew by everybody. And I was like, oh, okay. But the picks, man, I kept saying it. He had more touchdowns than picks coming into this game. He had 3 touchdowns to 4 interceptions coming into this game. Now 3 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I'm not including rushing touchdowns. No, just passing. But he got to cut this turnover bug out. He has to cut it out. You got to, my boy Ace. He said you were spot on about Daniels. That's why you're the guru. I appreciate it, man. I'm just a guy that watches and try to apply what he watches. But we're gonna move on to Arizona at Kansas State. Arizona was underdogs in this game. I thought Arizona's offense would be high-powered enough to make plays. I know Kansas State defense is really good. Don't get me wrong. I knew that the defense would find ways to rattle Arizona, but I thought it still had enough firepower to score more than one touchdown. And when they came on to score so easily in the first drive, I'm like, all right, bet. It's exactly what I thought. They're going to be able to score. They're going to find ways to score against this Kansas State defense. This was just tough. And I know this Arizona defense is going to give up touchdown drives because I watched the New Mexico game and just didn't. It looked scary. The defense did look scary. But after that first drive, it just ceased. They couldn't sustain anything. Now, penalties were allowed to do with it, but they couldn't sustain nothing. K-State, to be honest, were leaving them in the game. Even with that Avery Johnson play where he ran out the time before half, it was just like K-State was trying to lead them, let them stay in the game. And then the second half, it just took off. K-State took off with it. Scored 17 unanswered in the second half to win 31-7. So my phone the other way. Let's talk about what happened in the game. So almost dropped my phone. So Arizona will start, like I said, with the 1-yard quality Conley touchdown run set up by Tatoya McMillan, who had a 16-yard catch. Tatoya McMillan was like the only thing consistent in this game, to be honest with you. K-State was for Arizona. K-State would start with a 3-yard Will Sampson touchdown catch set up by Avery Johnson 19-yard run. Arizona 3-and-out punt leads to a 71-yard Dylan Edwards punt return touchdown. And that's kind of why I got nervous. I'm like, because the ball bounced, he picked it up, and he was gone. He was just gone. I was like, can't allow K-State to score touchdowns on special teams. If they're going to score, they got to score on this defense. Like, they got to score on offense. They can't afford defensive touchdowns, special team touchdowns. Gave up a punt return. Then Noah Fafita would throw an interception, which would lead to a 48-yard field goal miss, but that would just lead to a punt for Arizona. K-State, Avery Johnson runs out. They have the ability to score right before halftime. He just tries to do a little too much and runs out the clock. But then K-State will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Arizona will start with a 3-and-out punt. Then K-State will score a 9-yard Braden Lofton touchdown catch set up by J.C. Brown, 48-yard catch. K-State would then score a 1-yard DJ Giddens touchdown run set up by Braden Lofton, 21-yard catch. Arizona turnover on downs, 4th and 1. Passes incomplete leads to a 35-yard field goal. Arizona again turnover on downs, 4th and 10. Passes incomplete leads to a 3-and-out punt. And their last turnover on downs, 4th and 2 passes incomplete leads to the end of the game. Like I said, Arizona offense could get anything consistently going. I remember they had one drive where they was moving the ball, and I think they got like 3 straight penalties, and they moved them back. It ended up being like a 1st and 25 or 1st and 30, and you can't do much with that. So Arizona offense just couldn't sustain anything. K-State defense did really good, and Avery Johnson on the ground was just amazing. He was making plays with his legs, extending plays, making good throws. Avery Johnson looked really good in this game. Now, was it Avery Johnson or was it Arizona defense? I'm kind of leaning towards Avery Johnson. Had a decent game against Tulane, which is a better defense. But I still want to see more from Avery Johnson. He's still young, so I still want to see more from him. But there's a lot of promise there with Avery Johnson. So we're going to move on to Saturday. And the weekday did me dirty, 0 for 3. But I think I did a really good job this weekend. Saturday, it hurt. It did hurt for me to pick against my South Carolina boys. But I picked LSU to win a close one. And unfortunately, I was right because South Carolina should have won this game. But Lenore Sellers got hurt. The Nick Amawari pick 6 being called back definitely hurt. And not being able to score off that turnover, I believe it was a fumble, if I'm not mistaken. Not being able to – no, it was a pick. No, it was a fumble. It was a fumble that gave us really good field position where we settled for a field goal. Not being able to score a touchdown on that really hurt as well. But let's get into it. So LSU wins 36-33 to remain undefeated and remain 16th. SC will start with a 4-yard Lenore Sellers touchdown run set up by Rocket Sanders' 27-yard run. LSU will start with a 3-and-out punt. Lenore Sellers will then throw a pick, but that leads to a punt. Then South Carolina will score a 28-yard field goal, and then we will score a 10-yard Rocket Sanders touchdown run set up by a block punt. LSU would then score a 26-yard Caden Durham touchdown run, which that freshman ran so hard in this game. The true freshman, Caden Durham, ran hard. He made a name for himself. He was honestly the back that emerged for LSU. That was set up by Mason Taylor, 20-yard catch. Lenore Sellers would then fumble, which would lead to a 28-yard field goal. But then Lenore Sellers would make up for it on a veer, on an option, inverted veer option. He kept it, took off 75 yards to the crib, made a nice little move around midfield to make a guy miss. LSU would then score a 12-yard Kyron Lacey touchdown catch set up by Aaron Anderson, 23-yard catch. In the start of the second half, LSU would turn the ball over on downs, 4th and goal. The pass is incomplete, but that would just lead to a South Carolina 3-and-out punt. LSU would then score a 9-yard touchdown run set up by Caden Durham, 20-yard run, which would the 2-point would be no good, but that would give LSU the lead. Then LSU would score a 2-yard Mason Taylor touchdown catch, so that one didn't give them the lead. My bad. That was 22-24. Then LSU would score a 2-yard Mason Taylor touchdown catch. That one gave them the lead, which Aaron Anderson set that up with a 16-yard catch, and the 2-point would be no good there. But then we answer right back with a Rocket Sanders 66-yard touchdown run, but the 2-point would be no good. After it was good, there was a penalty. I think another receiver downfield had to redo it. Robbie Ashford rolls out. Nobody's there. He just lobs one up and it's picked. LSU's Garrett Nussmeier would then fumble, which would lead to a 42-yard field goal. Then Robbie Ashford would fumble, which would lead to a Garrett Nussmeier interception, which would lead to the pick 6 by Nick Omori being called back. I think they called roughing the passer after the pick because Cal Kennard, I think, hit him with something crazy like that. That would lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then LSU's Josh Williams scored the game-winning 2-yard touchdown run set up by Kyron Lacey's crazy one-hand 29-yard catch. And then SC would miss the 49-yard field goal to tie as time expires, leading to LSU winning the game. Now, I do want to talk about one thing. It was late in the first half. We got a bomb to Jared Brown. And then shout out to Braden Swinson, number 4 for LSU. That next 3 series of plays affected South Carolina's offense by himself. I think he had like a play where he was in the passing lane, led to an incomplete pass. He sacked Lenore Sellers. He left his imprint throughout the entire game. So shout out to him. He had a really good game for the LSU defense. Get well soon, Lenore Sellers, but I think the offense just didn't look the same once Lenore Sellers got hurt. And we weren't able to apply the pressure on offense as we did in the first half. We went up 17-0, went into the locker room up 24-10, I think, or 24-16. And we only scored 9 points in the second half. I think a large part of that had to do with Lenore Sellers being hurt. I think Lenore Sellers, if he doesn't get hurt, we win that game. But it's football; it happens. LSU, great win. Not undefeated, 2-1 on the season. Ranked 16th in the country. Nothing more I can say there. Great win for them. We'll move on to Alabama, Wisconsin. Got a comment. Shout out my boy Teddy. He says, my boy, man, hey, Teddy, I'm still hurt, bruh. I'm still hurt. Blue Jays cost my parlay. I should have went with the 6 strikeouts. I'd have hit. Shout out my boy Daniel. Watches R2L Main Show all the time. He's normally the first comment there. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Says, hey, shout out my boy. What's up with you, man? Hopefully you had a really good day. Hopefully you enjoyed your Wednesday. We're going to move on, like I said, to Alabama, Wisconsin. In a blowout, Alabama wins 42-10. Again, get well soon. Tyler Van Dyke towards ACL. But Wisconsin would start with a 53-yard field goal. Bama would start with a 46-yard field goal miss, which would lead to a turnover on downs for Wisconsin. Tyree Walker run for no gain, which would lead to a 31-yard Ryan Williams touchdown catch. It seems like every week Ryan Williams has a 20, 30-yard plus play. With 13:08 left in the second quarter, Wisconsin Ches Malusi will fumble, which will lead to a 3-yard Jalen Milroe touchdown run. Then with 33 seconds left in the second quarter, Wisconsin will miss a 44-yard field goal, which will lead to a 26-yard Jeremy Bernard touchdown catch. Then Wisconsin to start the second half with a 3-yard Will Pollin touchdown catch. Cade Yakamele will set that up with a 17-yard run. Wisconsin's Cade Yakamele will fumble, which will lead to a 10-yard Jalen Milroe touchdown run. And then with 10:05 left in the fourth quarter, Bama scores a 37-yard Josh Cuevas touchdown catch. They win 42-10. I know, like I said, we gamble, and we all took Bama spread. I took it down to 13.5. And early in the game, Teddy was like, man, wow, these Bama slow starts are starting to kill me. I'm like, yeah, Bama, starting slow, but Wisconsin's a really good defensive team. It's going to take Bama a while to blow this game open, and then eventually Bama blows the game open, wins by 32. So the game kind of went how I thought it would go. Bama struggles against a pretty good Wisconsin defense to start, but then they figure it out, starts to go scoring a bunch of points. Wisconsin can't keep up. They're not an offensively built team. They're not built to score a bunch of points. They're built to play defense, run the ball, and beat you that way. If you make them score, they will lose. And they lost. And it doesn't help that TVD towards the Achilles, so now they're back to Braden Locke. But nothing really much more to say about that game. Alabama does what it's supposed to do and handle business. Got a comment from my boy Teddy. He says Yankees are in a pigeon duel. I figured that was going to be a pigeon duel tonight. I don't know what the current score is, but I was looking at taking the Mariners plus a half in the first 5. I ended up not doing it because of the value, but I definitely lean to do it. Better value, I would have probably took it. We'll move on to Memphis at Florida State. So right now I'm 2-0. I picked LSU. I picked Alabama. And here's my first loss of the weekend. I picked Florida State, and I literally only picked Florida State because I said they better win this weekend or else they're in trouble. And they're in trouble because they lost at home to Memphis. And let's be clear, this schedule is set up for them to be good. They had the neutral site with Georgia Tech. With Georgia Tech, again, pretty good school. I like Key as a head coach. But then 3 straight home games, you have Boston College at home, lose. Memphis at home, lose. And now you have Cal at home. And I dag on that when I say y'all are going to lose. I don't know if I'm going to preview that game. Might be better games for me to preview. And I'm tired of talking about Florida State. But they're 2.5-point favorites. And Cal is not no pushover. So I don't know if they win that game. But Memphis wins 20-12. And off the rip, Roydale Williams fumbles the ball. He gets smacked. The ball goes like 8 yards in the backfield from where he got hit. Memphis recovers, and it leads to a 35-yard field goal. Then with 9 seconds left in the first quarter, DJ Uiagalelei throws a pick yet again, and it leads to a 6-yard Greg DeSoris touchdown catch. Memphis would turn the ball over on 4th and 2, but this wasn't on Seth Hannigan, a perfectly thrown ball. Lansford just drops it, leads to a 54-yard field goal for FSU. Then Memphis would punt to FSU, and FSU would fumble the punt. Memphis would recover, leading to a 19-yard field goal. Memphis would start the second half with a 2-yard Anthony Lansford touchdown catch, set up by a 31-yard Anthony Lansford catch. And then Florida State would start the second half with a 4-yard Roydale Williams touchdown run, set up by Malik Benson, 67-yard catch. But the 2-pointer would be no good. Memphis, Seth Hannigan would throw a pick, which would lead to a 25-yard field goal. Now, the pick really wasn't on Seth Hannigan either. I mean, yeah, it was behind the receiver, but the defensive back, I can't remember who made the play. He just made a great play. He ripped the ball out of the receiver's hand, and it was a pick. So I would say half and half. I actually, you know what? I will put the blame more so on Hannigan because he got to put the ball in front of the receiver. He kind of put it behind him, which gave the DB a chance to make the play. But Memphis would miss a 55-yard field goal to ice the game, and that would lead to a 3-and-out punt. I mean, Uiagalelei, I believe, got sacked twice on that drive. And then Florida State would then get the ball back, and the Hail Mary would be batted down for them to lose 20-12 to Mike Norvell's old school Memphis. Florida State just looks bad. They do. First half, they couldn't get enough of going. Turnovers killed them yet again. Second half, they were able to hit some big shots, but they weren't able really to sustain much on offense. This Memphis defense did a really good job there. Like I said, they let up some big plays, but for the most part, they did a really good job defensively with Florida State. And again, I'm going to keep saying it. I was off the DJ Uiagalelei train to start the year, so it is what it is. But Memphis is now 3-0, looking really good, making to make that bid for the group of 5 playoff team if they win the American. But they're making a nice little run for it. American Conference should be starting soon for those guys. Next game, we have Cincy at Miami of Ohio. I did pick Miami of Ohio to win at home. Defensive game, rivalry game, home crowd there. They actually won it last year. Figured they would win it again this year. I felt like Cincinnati, although they should have beat Pitt, they collapsed. And Cincinnati won. It was a defensive struggle. Cincinnati just was able to hit more big plays and not turn the ball over. Miami of Ohio, Bray Gabbert. He would start with a pick. An unnecessary interception. It's kind of like about to start running right. Then he thought he seen somebody, and Derek Canteen jumped it, threw a pick in the end zone. That would lead to a punt. That took 3 points off the board. In a defensive struggle, those are huge. Cincy would then score a 55-yard field goal. Miami of Ohio would answer with a 30-yard field goal. But then Miami of Ohio, they would fumble around. They would try to punt the ball. The punters fumbled. and that would lead to a 3-yard Joe Royer touchdown catch. Then Cincinnati's Joey Royer would fumble, but that would lead to the end of the half. Cincy would start the second half with a Tony Johnson 7-yard touchdown catch set up by Xavier Henderson 21-yard catch. Miami of Ohio would start the second half with a 58-yard Reggie Virgil touchdown catch, just got behind the defense. With 13:01 left in the fourth quarter, Cincinnati's Evan Pryor, he just broke a 65-yard touchdown run. Then Miami of Ohio would score a Cade McDonald 7-yard touchdown catch set up by Reggie Virgil 13-yard catch, but the 2-point would be no good. And then Miami of Ohio would turn the ball over on downs 4th and 4. Passes incomplete, which would lead to Cincinnati getting a 50-yard field goal. And then Miami of Ohio, the game was already over. They put the backup quarterback in, I guess, to protect Brett Gabbert. And he just ran out. They were trying to get the ball down the field to score, and he ran the ball on, I think, 1st and 10. Tried to slide. He thought he got the first down, but he was short, and the time expired. But like I said, man, defensive struggle. Cincinnati just made more plays. The Miami of Ohio pick in the red zone was huge, and Cincinnati was able to break long runs when they needed to. They were actually able to kill a lot of clock on that field goal drive. Yeah, shout out Cincinnati. They won the rivalry game. Next game, we have Boston College at Mizzou. Mizzou won 27-21. Got down early. Went down 14-3 early. I know we texted the group chat like, dang, we should have backed Boston College, which is true. They was getting 16.5 points. They lost by 6, so easily covered the spread. But Boston College will start with a 12-yard Jaron Bradley touchdown catch, set up by a 14-yard Trayshawn Ward catch. Mizzou will start with a 38-yard field goal. With 9:44 left in the second quarter, Boston College will score 67 Reed Harris touchdown catch, but that was set up off a broken play. I believe it was a bad snap or something like that. Thomas Castellanos recovers the ball, and then 2 guys in the same area wide open. Just pick one because everybody went down to try to get the fumble. Touchdown. Mizzou would then score a 38-yard field goal. Then Thomas Castellanos for Boston College would throw a pick, which would lead to a 19-yard Luther Burden touchdown catch, just making guys miss on the sidelines. But the 2-point would be good to tie the game. And then Mizzou would score a 56-yard field goal before the half. Mizzou would start the second half with a 6-yard Brady Cook touchdown run set up by Luther Burden 38-yard catch, again making guys miss, creating big plays. Luther Burden, one of the best receivers in the country. Boston College would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. With 13:22 left in the fourth quarter, Boston College's Thomas Castellanos throws an interception, which will lead to a 31-yard field goal. Boston College would then score a 38-yard Kamari Morales touchdown catch set up by Lewis Bond 25-yard catch. But then Mizzou would get the ball and run out the clock. My thoughts on this game, by the way, I did pick Mizzou to win, so to go 3-2 for the weekend. My thoughts was this. Boston College, yes, they put up 21, but 14 of those 21 points came on broken plays. Even the 38-yard pass to Kamari Morales was just a busted coverage. 2 guys in the same spot for Mizzou. Somebody didn't pass off. I believe it was a deep corner route, got behind the defense and scored. It was just a busted coverage. I feel like Boston College should have lost by more points. 2 of your touchdowns were busted coverages. One was because the defense started to sell out to try to get a fumble. Another was just a bad communication. Really scored 7 points in my opinion, but it's football. Now, if you're Mizzou, you got to fix that. You got to fix the busted coverages. Great way to force some turnovers. However, Boston they forced Castellanos to throw 2 picks, which is really good. And again, Luther Burden, one of the best receivers in the country. And I got to shout out Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll. They were able to find big rushing lanes against Boston College. They were gashing Boston College for big runs. Shout out to my FBS Group of 5 transfer backs, man. Last year was Carson Steele for me. I saw Carson Steele did for the Chiefs against the Bengals. Now Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll get their turns. Nate Noel from App State, Marcus Carroll from Georgia State. So shout out to them guys. And now we move to the afternoon games, which were kind of, I ain't gonna lie, the afternoon games were kind of boring, except for one, which is gonna piss me off to talk about because I picked right in the preseason, but I changed my pick in the regular season. This one right here, I did pick Oklahoma to beat Tulane, but I did pick Tulane to cover the spread. But that don't matter on CTC. Y'all just want winners. And I picked Oklahoma, so that's 4-2 so far on the weekend. Oklahoma did win 34-19. Before I talk about this game, which is right here, shout out R. Mason Thomas. He at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, when plays needed to be made, he made them. Whether it was a sack, quarterback hurry, deflecting the ball, he did whatever Oklahoma defense needed. He wrecked this game late in the game. But Tulane would start with a 3-and-out punt. Oklahoma will start with a 1-yard Jackson Arnold touchdown run, set up by Javonte Barnes 12-yard catch. With 10:02 left in the second quarter, OU will score a 9-yard Taylor Tatum touchdown catch, set up by Bauer Sharp 15-yard catch. Tulane would then miss a 50-yard field goal, which would lead to a 1-yard Taylor Tatum touchdown run. Tulane would then score a 7-yard Reggie Brown touchdown catch. Bryce Bohannon set that up with a 19-yard catch, and the PAT would be no good. Oklahoma would start the second half with a 29-yard field goal. Tulane would start the second half with a Mekhi Hughes 8-yard touchdown catch, set up by Mario Williams 22-yard catch. With 14:20 left in the fourth quarter, Oklahoma's Jackson Arnold would throw a pick six to Tyler Grubbs. The 2-point would be no good, however. With 8:18 left in the fourth quarter, Tulane's Darian Mensah would throw an interception, which would lead to a 24-yard Jackson Arnold touchdown run. With Tulane turnover on downs, 4th and 13, Darian Mensah would be sacked, which will lead to a 39-yard field goal, and I was pissed because this is what caused me to lose the 13.5-point spread. And then Tulane will fumble. Darian Mensah will get sacked, which will lead to the end of the game. I believe that sack was R. Mason Thomas. But I was like, 4th and 13, this game's got to reach. Why are you going for it? Just punt the ball. This game's over. And it led to the field goal to put them up 15. But Oklahoma defense did a really good job stifling this Tulane offense. Tulane only scored really 13 points on offense, really 12. No, 13, because the 2-point was no good after the pick six. Really 12 points. No, 13, because I'm tripping. They didn't get the point at the 2-point conversion, so they gave up 13 points. 6 of them came from a pick six. Tulane couldn't get much going against this Oklahoma defense. Jackson Arnold did a really good job in this game. It was just Oklahoma's too much for Tulane, especially at home. Tulane's still a good team, but it's just Oklahoma was just better. Point blank, period. Now to another game, I did pick wrong. This is why. I picked wrong because I believed in the swamp. Texas A&M did not care about the swamp at all. They started off hot. They just point blank. That's what it was. They started off hot. So I'm now 4-3 for the week. And as I got to make a text because I just thought about something that I forgot to do before the show, and it might screw me over, I'm going to mute my mic. Really thought about this, and it might be affecting something. So I definitely got to make this call. But again, I mute my mic. All right. Well, that wasn't answered. Got to make a text. Joe, if you in here, check your phone. I just texted you, Joe. Check your phone if you in here. Joe, Dave, or Tomo. Let me know if you in here. But let's talk about this Texas A&M Florida game. Texas would start with a 31-yard field goal. Florida would start with a punt. Texas A&M would then score a 29-yard Theo Millen touchdown catch set up by Le'Veon Moss 27-yard run. Texas A&M would then score a 48-yard field goal. Texas A&M would score a 1-yard Marcel Reed touchdown run. Le'Veon Moss would then set that up with a 22-yard run. DJ Lagway would throw an interception before the half, but it was before the half, so it don't lead in anything. Florida would then start the second half with a 14-yard Elijah Badger touchdown catch. I think that one was thrown by Graham Mertz, set up by Kamari DK 19-yard catch. Texas A&M would start the second half with a 73-yard Cyrus Allen touchdown catch. And that one was a backbreaker because it looked like Florida was about to get off the field, just got to stop them on third down, and now I believe it was a busted coverage. I believe it was like a fake screen post wheel. I can't remember the fake screen part, but I remember a post wheel, and Cyrus Allen was just open down the sidelines. With 5:29 left in the third quarter, Graham Mertz would throw a pick six to Bryce Anderson, and then Florida would then score a 7-yard touchdown pass to Kamari DK, set up by penalties. I believe that was DJ Lagway who threw the touchdown. Texas A&M would then miss a 40-yard field goal, which would lead to a 2-yard Jacoby Jackson touchdown run. 2-point would be no good, and then they would miss another 40-yard field goal miss, and that would lead to a DJ Lagway interception, which will lead to the end of the game. Nothing much really to talk about here. Texas A&M just started off hot. Florida's offense is just not good. The swamp is not what it used to be, and Texas A&M just came in and dominated. There's really nothing much to talk about there. Next game we're going to get into is the backyard brawl, which put me at 4-4. Now, if you remember in the preseason, I wasn't high on Pitt, but I did say Pitt would win the backyard brawl and went against that when it came time to preview week 3 and pick West Virginia. And sure enough, it came back to bite me in the behind because Pitt pulled out a miracle. Now, I do feel like West Virginia melted in this game. Do not get me wrong. West Virginia should have won this game. I felt like they melted. But it is what it is. Pitt won. So, yeah. I still got to hear something from but yeah, man, I'm going to get into this game and then we'll talk about it. So, both teams start with a punt. So, West Virginia actually started with the ball first. They started with a punt. Pitt would then start with a 3-and-out punt. West Virginia would then score a 10-yard C.J. Donaldson touchdown run set up by Rodney Gallagher with a 33-yard catch. Pitt would then score a 31-yard field goal. Pitt would then score a 9-yard Desmond Reed touchdown catch set up by Desmond Reed 21-yard catch. West Virginia would answer with a 5-yard Jaheim White touchdown run set up by Cole Taylor 17-yard catch. Garrett Green would then throw an interception, which would lead to a turnover on downs, 4-for-1 passes complete for a loss of 1, which would lead to a West Virginia 44-yard field goal, which have halftime tied at 17 apiece. Pitt would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. West Virginia would start the second half with a punt that is blocked for a touchdown, but then they would answer with a 4-yard C.J. Donaldson touchdown run set up by Jaden Bray 44-yard catch. West Virginia would then score a 23-yard field goal to go up 3. Then they would score an incredible 28-yard Justin Robertson touchdown catch. That was set up by Targeting, but he caught that pass on 2 people. I think Dave was going to call DP out on that play, but it didn't matter. But then Pitt throws up a Hail Mary to DeJuan Reynolds, and it was caught. DeJuan Reynolds, it really wasn't a Hail Mary. It's more so, I ain't going to lie, it was a good ball placement. Caught it low to the ground. Touchdown Pitt. And then Pitt would get the ball back and score a 1-yard Derek Davis touchdown run. Eli Holstein was making plays with his legs on that drive. That was set up, though, by Kanata Munfield, 23-yard catch. And then Garrett Green would throw a pick to end the game. But, bruh, it looked like Garrett Green was throwing picks on purpose. The first play, I want to say I can't remember. But play 2, play 3, before the pick on 4th down, he threw it right to the defenders. They just dropped him. It looked like he was like, man, forget this game. I'm going to go home. Pick drop. And then finally caught the pick on 4th down, which wouldn't have mattered. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Are you trying to win or not? And just West Virginia melted at the end of this game. They had a 10-point lead with like 4 minutes left and lost the game. I don't understand. It just, like I said, they just collapsed. It is what it is. They just collapsed to lose the game. But we're going to move on to the next game. App State versus East Carolina, which in this game I did pick App State to win. I think that puts me at 5-4. Did I skip one? I did skip one. Hold on. I skipped Oregon at Oregon State, which I did pick Oregon to win. So that puts me at 5-4, and App State will put me at 6-4. Where's App? Oh, here we go, right here. Oregon, like I said earlier, finally gets the blowout win everybody was looking for, taking care of business in the Civil War, 49-14. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, we back. Shout out my boy Tomo. He about to look out for your boy. Oregon State would start the game with a 43-yard field goal block, which would set up a 4-yard Jordan James touchdown run for Oregon. Oregon State would then score a 6-yard Anthony Hankerson touchdown run set up by Trent Walker, 13-yard catch. Oregon would then score a 54-yard Dylan Gabriel touchdown run set up by Terrence Ferguson, 20-yard catch, and they would go for 2 and get it. Oregon would then score a 20-yard Trayshawn Holden touchdown catch set up by Terrence Ferguson, 20-yard catch. Oregon State would then score its last touchdown of the game, a 1-yard Anthony Hankerson touchdown run set up by Trent Walker, 14-yard catch. Oregon would start the second half with a 25-yard field goal. Oregon State would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Oregon would score a 1-yard Jordan James touchdown run set up by Tez Johnson, 27-yard catch. Oregon would score a 27-yard Noah Whittington touchdown run set up by Trayshawn Holden, 21-yard run. Oregon would score 65 yards. Jada Lamar touchdown catch, set up by Tez Johnson, 18-yard catch. Oregon State would turn the ball over, 4th and 6 passes incomplete, lead to a 39-yard field goal. And then one more turnover and downs, 4th and 2 passes incomplete, leading to the end of the game. Not much in this game, blowout. Oregon's offense finally got to clicking, and they put up 49 points. Oregon State only scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, no points in the second half, and that typically leads to a blowout. Nothing more I really have to say on that game. Blowout, so nothing really much to talk about. The last game in the afternoon before the night games, App State at Eastern Carolina. App State won 21-19. I did pick App State to win, and boy, was it close early. App State went down 16-0 to Eastern Carolina to start and was able to climb back and win the game. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Business. But ECU starts with a 65-yard Winston Wright touchdown catch. App State will start with a punt. Eastern Carolina will score a 48-yard field goal. App State, Joey Aguilar would then throw a pick six. He didn't throw a pick all year until this week. And I was like, man, I bet on App State to win, by the way. So I was like, man, of course, I bet on App State. I bet App State. I picked App State. Now he want to throw a pick. Throws a pick six. The point out to be no good, though. Then App State will finally score a 6-yard Eli Wilson touchdown catch, set up by Caden Robinson, 17-yard catch. 2-point would be good. App State would then score a 28-yard field goal. Then with 2:46 left in the second quarter, ECU's Chase Sewell will fumble, but Joey Aguilar would throw his second pick of the game. But that would lead to a 3-and-out punt. And then App State would score a 35-yard field goal before the half, making the score 14-16 at halftime. App State would then start the second half with a punt. ECU would start the second half with a 36-yard field goal, miss, and lead to a punt. App State would score a 36-yard Mekhi Jackson touchdown catch, set up by Caden Robinson, 19-yard catch. ECU would score a 43-yard field goal with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. App State is driving, and their best player, in my opinion, Caden Robinson, will fumble the ball, leading to a Jake Garcia interception, which will lead to the end of the game. But App State was looking to punch the ball in to put the game out of reach, and Caden Robinson fumbles. But thank you, Jake Garcia throws a pick, and App State will win 21-19. Now, what I will say is this. ECU got their points early off of App State blunders. I even want to say the ECU big touchdown play was a blown coverage, I want to say. Pick six, Joey Aguilar, uncharacteristic pick six, and then the field goals. But they got their points early. App State was able to buckle down and claw their way back into this game, play by play, hit big plays, and won the game. Caden Robinson did what he had to do in the receiving game. App State defense did make timely turnovers as well, so let's not get that confused. ECU got their turnovers, but App State got theirs as well. And when the game was on the line, they got the pick to win the game. So shout out App State to get the win. Proves I think they're now 2-1. But the next game we got to talk about, Georgia at Kentucky, which I got all the way right here. Now, this game has some controversy. Definitely has some controversy in this one. A lot of people think that Kentucky should have won this game. A pick six. We had a controversial pick six that got overturned. I still don't know whether I think that should have been overturned or not. But Georgia ain't going to win. The big difference in this game, because the rundown is going to be short. The big difference in this game is Georgia scored a touchdown. Kentucky didn't. Brock Vandagriff did a great job attacking Georgia with his legs. He killed Georgia on the ground. But those all led to field goals. Georgia got the lone touchdown, and that's basically the difference in the game. But Georgia would start with a punt. Kentucky would start with a punt. Kentucky would start with a 55-yard field goal to start the scoring. And then with 4:45 left in the second quarter, Brock Vandagriff will fumble, but that would lead to a 34-yard field goal for Georgia. Kentucky would score a 32-yard field goal before the half, and then Kentucky would start the second half with a 40-yard field goal. Georgia would start the second half with a 30-yard field goal. Then Georgia would score a 3-yard Branson Robinson, set up by Trevor Etienne, 17-yard run. Kentucky would score a 51-yard field goal, and then we would have no points after that. Kentucky tried to do a hook and ladder play at the end, but Malachi Starks makes an immediate tackle. I can't remember who catches the ball to end the game, but again, Georgia scored the touchdown. Kentucky didn't. We got a controversial pick six overturn. We are all good. Appreciate you, my boy. Shout out my boy, Mr. Your Done Son, Tomo himself. But yeah, Georgia just was able to win the game. Kentucky probably pissed they didn't win. Probably should have won, but again, I don't know whether that pick six should have been returned. I can't tell you. I still don't know. But I'm not mad at Kentucky fans thinking it should have been. But we move on to a game that was a blowout. Indiana, Kirk Cignetti. If y'all remember me on the R2L main show, I said it's two coaches I want, Willie Fritz or Kirk Cignetti. Kirk Cignetti got Indiana looking really good at 3-0, blowing out UCLA 42-13 on the road. When's the last time you're in Indiana doing something like that? Man, Indiana looks really good. This puts me at what? Now 8-4? 8-4, because this is game 12. I think I ain't sweep the whole afternoon. But I think I went 8-4. I'm currently 8-4. Y'all gonna kill me about my next one. But Indiana will start with a Miles Cross 3-yard touchdown catch. Elijah Surratt set that up with a 24-yard catch. UCLA will start with an Ethan Garbers fumble, which will lead to a 14-yard Keyshawn Williams touchdown catch. UCLA will miss a 41-yard field goal, which will lead to a turnover on downs, 4 for 6 passes incomplete. But that would just lead to a 3-and-out punt for UCLA. Indiana will score a 1-yard Justice Ellison touchdown run set up by Miles Cross 33-yard catch. UCLA will score a 1-yard TJ Harden touchdown run set up by Rico Flores Jr. 22-yard catch. UCLA will start the second half with a 28-yard field goal. Indiana will start the second half with a 3-yard Keyshawn Williams touchdown catch set up by Zach Horton 17-yard catch. UCLA will score a 34-yard field goal. Indiana will score a 23-yard Omar Cooper Jr. touchdown catch set up by Miles Cross 17-yard catch. And Ethan Gerbers will then throw a pick, which will lead to a 14-yard Elijah Green touchdown run. Like I said, man, Indiana blows out UCLA. They play really good defense. UCLA offense looks really bad. UCLA offense looked bad against Hawaii too. I'm not going to lie. Even with the OC being Eric Bieniemy, this offense does not look good. Ethan Gerbers did not look good for another year, in my opinion. And Indiana just looks dominant on defense. Indiana looks really tough to stop on offense with Curtis Rourke. And he's doing it with a lot of not FCS guys, group of 5 guys. Curtis Rourke, D'Angelo Pons on the defensive end, Elijah Surratt. Miles Cross, I believe, came from Ohio as well. Justice Ellison came from Wake Forest. He got some group of 5 guys putting that talent together. Tyson Lawton, I think he got both his blacks, Tyson Lawton and Kalen Black. JMU guys, group of 5. Just Cignetti is a really good coach, and Indiana is not a threat to win the Big Ten, but they're a threat to pull off some upsets this year. I would watch out for Indiana if I was a team in the Big Ten this year. But we're going to move on to a game I don't want to talk about, not because I don't like Colorado. I love Colorado. I'm a Colorado fan. I picked them to win 7 games because I went against my preseason pick. I went with the hype. Not really the hype, but I more so went with Jay Norvell. He came in with a good game plan the year before. Should have pulled out a win. Revenge factor. Being at home. Didn't think they would kind of come up with the same game plan as last year. But I did pick Colorado State. I feel so stupid. And Colorado won easily 28-9. Wasn't easy at first. It was 3-0 for a minute. But then Colorado blew the game open. That puts me now at 8-5. It should be 9-4, but whatever. Colorado wins 28-9. Sorry, Dion. Hey, look, I apologize, Dion. That's on me. I was being stupid. It is what it is. Colorado State will start with a 3-and-out punt. Colorado State will score a 25-yard field goal. Colorado would miss a 44-yard field goal, which will lead to a punt. With 5:51 left in the second quarter, Colorado scores a 4-yard LaJohntay West touchdown catch, set up by roughing the passer. Colorado would then score a 34-yard LaJohntay West touchdown catch, set up by Jimmy Horn 14-yard catch. Colorado will start the second half with a punt. Colorado State will start the second half with Braden Fowler and Cozy throwing an interception, which will lead to a 2-yard Travis Hunter touchdown catch. Braden Fowler and Cozy now would fumble for Colorado State, leading to Isaiah Gostave fumble, which will lead to Travis Hunter catching a pick, and then Travis Hunter finishing that drive with a 21-yard touchdown catch. Colorado State would then score a 5-yard Justin Marshall garbage time touchdown run, set up by Avery Morrow 62-yard run. Then Colorado State's Braden Fowler and Cozy would fumble again, leading to a turnover on downs, 4 for 6 passes incomplete, but that would just lead to the end of the game. And Colorado defense was just super opportunistic. 4 turnovers, 2 picks. Preston Hodge caught 1, Travis Hunter caught another, and then forced 2 fumbles. And then Travis Hunter with 2 touchdowns, and then LaJohntay Wester with 2 touchdowns. They really came to play. They knew what was at stake. They knew Colorado State was talking trash. They knew that last year they felt like they could hang with them, and this year they came in to show them like, look, y'all can't hang with us. We are better than last year. Y'all not better than us. Y'all not going to be better than us. And they heard the trash talk, and they showed up and showed out, man. Travis Hunter absolutely balled. I was happy my boy Preston Hodge got one from Liberty, so I was happy he got one. But yeah, following the Cozy did not look good. This Colorado State offense did not look good, and they shut down Troy Horton, which is their best receiver. Shut him down. So shout out to them. Great win. But we're going to move on to another game, which I picked correctly. Everything in me told me to pick TCU. Everything in me said that. And as this game went on, I was like, man, I should have did it. TCU was dominating against UCF. And then UCF pulls off an amazing comeback, scores a touchdown late, and wins the game 35-34. If you remember, I was like, I'm going to go UCF because that's what I wrote on the paper, and that's what I'm sticking with. And they won to put me at now 9-5, I believe. Yeah, I think I finished 9-6 on the weekend. UCF pulled off an amazing game. This is probably one of the best games of the week. I would say this was the better. This and Georgia and Kentucky were the better games of the weekend. Yeah, I would definitely say that. UCF will start with a 3-and-out punt. TCU will start with a 14-yard Eric McAllister touchdown catch. UCF will miss a 47-yard field goal, which is blocked. I think TCU blocked 2 field goals and an extra point this game, which will lead to an 18-yard Savion Williams touchdown catch. UCF will score a 29-yard R.J. Harvey touchdown catch, set up by Randy Pittman Jr. 18-yard catch. TCU will score a 16-yard Savion Williams touchdown catch, set up by Jack Beck 18-yard catch. With 4 seconds left in the second quarter, UCF 27-yard field goal is blocked, leading to a halftime. TCU will start the second half with a 50-yard Jack Beck catch, touchdown catch, set up by defensive pass interference. UCF will start the second half with a 1-yard R.J. Harvey touchdown run, set up by Kobe Hudson, 29-yard catch, and the point after would be blocked. TCU will score a 31-yard field goal. UCF will score a 27-yard Kobe Hudson touchdown catch, set up by a 45-yard Kobe Hudson catch. UCF will score a 27-yard R.J. Harvey touchdown run, set up by R.J. Harvey 19-yard run. The 2-point would be good. TCU will score a 24-yard field goal to go up 6, but UCF will score a 20-yard Kobe Hudson touchdown catch, set up by Randy Pittman, 17-yard catch. And they even said it, like, for the extra point to put UCF one, they thought, man, TCU's been blocking kicks all day. But UCF makes the extra point, and TCU will miss a 58-yard field goal to win the game as time expires. UCF hangs on to win 35-34, completing an amazing comeback against TCU. Shout out Kobe Hudson and R.J. Harvey, putting the team on their back. KJ Jefferson made some plays with his leg as well. But Josh Hoover played an amazing game. Josh Hoover did everything he could to win that game. Jack Beck had 200 yards receiving. TCU offense looked really good. It's just UCF completed the comeback. TCU had some drives settled for field goals when they shouldn't have. And UCF put up touchdowns. It was an amazing game. KJ Jefferson definitely, for a week, beat some of these can't throw deep allegations, but he got Kobe Hudson, man. You got to use him more. RJ Harvey's the dog of a back. Penny Boone is barely even being used at UCF, which I think is not getting talked about, by me included. Penny Boone went to UCF. He originally went to Louisville. Don't know why he transferred out to go to UCF when they got Johnny Richardson and RJ Harvey, especially RJ Harvey. Felt like he could have gone somewhere else and been used more, but it is what it is. UCF pulled off a great victory. I'm super high on TCU and Josh Hoover, however. Really high on Josh Hoover. He's been playing really well. If you remember what I said earlier in the TCU preview, I said I like Josh Hoover. He has to stop turning the ball over, though. I think he had 8 touchdowns and 9 picks. Right now, I don't even think he's thrown a pick yet this year. So shout out Josh Hoover, man. Now we got to go to the last game we're talking about in Maryland at Virginia. I picked Virginia. I said Virginia was close to being Maryland last year. 3 terrible fourth-quarter picks ruined that game. And interceptions and fumbles ruined this game yet again for Virginia. Virginia started off, had all the momentum, should have won this game. But turnovers yet again kills Virginia against Maryland, and Maryland hangs on to beat Virginia 27-13. Not even hangs on, but they beat Virginia 27-13. Maryland started with a punt. Virginia starts with a punt. Virginia, Anthony Calandria, he would just fumble his lineman, accidentally knocks the ball out, but he was not holding that ball. He was not protecting the ball. He was holding it like a loaf of bread. Ball falls out. Maryland would recover, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Then Calandria would throw a pick, which would lead to a 52-yard field goal miss, which would lead to a 19-yard field goal being good for Virginia. And then Virginia would score a 29-yard field goal, and then with 54 seconds left in the second quarter, Maryland would score a 19-yard Ty Felton touchdown catch, set up by a Ty Felton 15-yard catch. Then Virginia will score a 10-yard Anthony Calandria touchdown run to start the second half, set up by a Tyler Neville 39-yard catch. No. That was before the half. Excuse me. He did that before the half. Oh, he went down like 30-something seconds and scored. That was crazy. Then Virginia would start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Maryland would start the second half with a 26-yard Caden Prather touchdown catch. Then Calandria would throw his second interception of the game, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Maryland would score a 37-yard field goal, then a 33-yard field goal. Then Malachi Field would then fumble, which would lead to a Billy Edwards Jr. 1-yard touchdown run. And then Calandria would, on 4th and 10, would turn the ball over on downs with a 9-yard run, which would lead to the end of the game. Again, man, just turnovers. They had 4 turnovers in this game. 2 Calandria picks, Calandria fumble, and a Malachi Fields fumble. Not going to get it done. 4 turnovers. Yet again, losing to Maryland because of turnovers. But I digress. We get into major performances for this week. Week 3. Got to get the score down. And I got to get ready for the clapping, the cheering sound effect. I think I got 13 to 15 in that range for this week. Around the same I had as last week. I used it to start the dang on show. Why can't I find it? Here you go. So, first up on major performances, we got Rocket. 2 touchdowns. Luther a touchdown in the win against Boston College. Eli Holstein, quarterback, Pittsburgh, 21 of 30, 301 yards, 3 touchdowns, 14 carries for 59 yards in the win against West Virginia. Caden Robinson, wide receiver at App State, 7 catches for 129 yards. Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State, 2 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns in the win against Vanderbilt. Kelly Joyner, running back, South Florida, 10 carries, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns in the win against Southern Mississippi. Curtis Ward, quarterback, Indiana, 25 of 33, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns in the win against UCLA. Travis Hunter, wide receiver / DB cornerback, 13 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns with 5 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, pass breakup, and a pick in the win against Colorado State. RJ Harvey, running back, UCF, 29 carries, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, a catch, and 29 yards for a touchdown for UCF in the win against TCU. Kobe Hudson, wide receiver, UCF, 6 catches, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the win against TCU. Josh Hoover, quarterback, TCU, 35 of 52, 402 yards, 4 touchdowns in the loss to UCF. Jack Beck, 9 catches, 200 yards, and a touchdown, wide receiver, TCU in the loss against UCF. Ty Felton, wide receiver, Maryland, 9 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown to win against Virginia. Avery Johnson, 14 of 23, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 carries for 110 yards in the win against Arizona, quarterback for K-State. Tatoya McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona, 11 catches, 138 yards in the loss against K-State. And Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, 6 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown for the win against Texas State. And that is going to be the end of my Week 3 recap. I'll be back around 6:30, 6:45 to do my Week 4 preview for the weekday, just the weekday. Got 4 games. Off the top, I remember South Alabama, App State. I remember Syracuse, Stanford, Illinois and Nebraska, and always blank on the last one. San Jose State, Washington State. Those are the 4 games I'm going to preview for you guys in about 6.5 hours. But y'all get y'all some rest. Even if you're not up to catch it live, you can always come back and watch it. Be 20 minutes. Watch it on your way to work. Listen to it at work, on your way home from work, whatever you got to do. But I'm gone. Peace.
thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.